Hey Mixers, welcome back into another WNBA player props video. I am on a terrible losing streak right now, so I just want to throw that out here right now, and I probably will mention it a couple of more times throughout the video because people skip around sometimes, and I don't blame you. We all got busy days. I spent all day, the plumber ripped out all my walls today, replaced 10 feet of my main sewer stack, and that was a couple $1,000, and then plumbers don't put the wall back on, you guys. So I went to Home Depot, put the wall back on myself, and it is horrible. If I showed you guys a picture of it, you guys would troll me to the end of the universe. Like, it looks so bad. But it was my first attempt, and it was a $100 repair instead of a $1,000 repair. So for now, it's going to have to be good. I'm going to have to do a couple more coats on it over the next few days, and then we'll sand it and paint it, and maybe we just throw a painting over it or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do on the 10-foot side. I have not fixed that side yet. So, yeah, if you have ideas for me, I have a plaster and lath house, and so I'm obviously not going to put plaster and lath back on there because that's just, I can't do that. And so I either get to drywall the middle of it and then just cover it up with something nice, like build something all the way to the ceiling, in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen, or um, I can just like build something over it, like maybe drywall the whole, like just put two drywall sheets on top of each other, and now it's a drywall wall in the middle of the kitchen where everything else is plaster. Just give me your opinions. Let's actually get into the WNBA because that's what you guys came here for. All right, now a lot of you guys gave me some really good fantasy football names, but ultimately this was my favorite one from Drones216. He gave me Immaculate Concepcion for the Browns rookie, Casey Concepcion. And the reason I chose it is because if you've been watching my NFL videos, you know that I was high on the Browns over their win total even before the draft. And then they had an amazing draft, drafted exactly how I wanted them to, and then they go ahead and announce Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback, which I was hoping they would just eat the money and put Shedeur Sanders back out there. Not that he's any better, but I just don't want to see Deshaun Watson. I don't want to cheer for him. You know, you get it. But anyways, I do have money on the Browns over their win total, so I'm gonna go with Immaculate Concepcion. Love it. Reach out to me at elixirmixersllc@gmail.com, and I will get you that cash over the next couple of days. I am going on vacation, so if you reach out to me while I'm on vacation for my brother's wedding, then you won't get it till I get back. All right, the game picks, we did go 4-0 on our money lines yesterday, which was the only thing we've done right in the WNBA since 4 days ago. 1-3 on the spreads, and then 3-1 on the totals. Today we missed everything in the Minnesota Lynx game. I did not expect it to be, first of all, that low scoring, and second of all, the Valkyries beat the pants off the Lynx. So I was not expecting that. And then the Dream game right now is tracking to an under, tracking to the Dream not covering, and they could lose the game, but they might still pull out the win. I just think we will lose the spread and the total on that one. All right, my best bets all went 0-3, really terrible, horrible. Sydney Taylor, I was not aware that she was going to be on a minutes restriction. I don't know if that was public knowledge. I mean, obviously I could miss things, but I definitely did not hear that. So she was on a minutes restriction, and even with her minutes played, she was horrible. So she had 4 points. Sonia Citron over 15.5 points. She did almost get there at the end, but she started off really badly, and Shakira and Kiki were just having a great day. And so I think she only took like 5 or 6 shots, and so yeah, she just didn't get there. Really close. And then Jackie Young over 6.5 assists. She only had 5. So I just got screwed on the day, but the bonus bet did come through on Flage, and so that made up for part of it. All right, we also hit the game bet over 166.5, and the Washington Portland game went to 205. So that was clearly too low, in my opinion. And the way you beat the Washington Mystics is by shooting 3-pointers. That's what the Portland Fire does. So I figured they could put up some points, and that was correct. So yeah, at least we got something green on the screen today. Now, today's picks, Olivia Miles over 29.5 PRA. That was horrible. She only had 17. But then Tiffany Hayes, on the other hand, over 9.5 points. That one did come through with 14. So I wish I had switched those as the lean and the best bet, but it is what it is. We are 48.88% on the best bet, so we're starting to slip back down. Hopefully we don't get back down to where we were earlier in the season. I'm planning to drag it back over 50% by the end of the season if we can. The leans are at 49.58%, so we're just one lean under 50%. All right, getting into the games for tomorrow, we have the Sun and the Sky. They've already played each other 3 times this season, and it's been kind of a mishmash of players missing. A lot of different players on the court in these games. So in the last one, which was their highest scoring game, there was no Aaliyah Edwards, no Brittany Griner, and no Azure. In this game, Griner is questionable, Olivia Nelson-Adota is questionable, and Layla Lacan is out because she has already traveled to France to start competing for the Team France for the FIBA World Cup. And I will probably try to watch some of those games, and we might bet on it. So maybe I'll do some videos for the World Cup. But I'll probably be focusing on football as well during that time. Okay, so the trends are that Chicago is 2-4 ATS in their last 6, which isn't great. But Connecticut's only 3-8 ATS in their last 11, which isn't great either. Chicago's 1-4 to the over in their last 5, so they're playing to unders. And Connecticut is 1-6 to the over in their last 7, so they're also playing to unders. So I'll lean to the under. I mean, they're both playing to unders. Neither one of these teams really wants the win or needs the win. It's not that they don't want it; they just don't need it. The Sky tanking is not going to help them because they already don't have. I think they already don't have their first round pick or something like that. I can't remember now, but the Sun are probably going to get a top pick, and so I don't think it matters whether they win this game or not. But I'll go to the under. Chicago minus 5.5 just to cover, and then Chicago on the money line. I'm kind of seeing like a 85-70 game or something like that. So I think the Sky win by a lot, and the Sun don't really put anything up. But I could be wrong. The young players could be hungry to show what they have. It's very possible. All right, the Portland Fire at the Dallas Wings. So we've seen this twice already this season. Once without Paige, which was a very frustrating game because we had a bet on Jessica Shepard. She barely cleared it for us by 1, and it was at the end of the game, and she had like 0 points at halftime. The other game went to 198, super high scoring game. So with this one, they kind of put the line in the middle, 176.5. The trends are that Portland is 5-2 ATS in their last 7 games. They're 1-4 to the over in their last 5. So they've been playing to unders, but they've been covering. And then Dallas is 2-6 ATS in their last 8, but they have covered in 2 straight. And then Dallas has played to 5 straight unders. And then Dallas plays to unders at home usually anyways. AZ's out and Isaiah James is out for the Wings. Everyone should be playing for the Fire. I checked on Carla late to see if she was going to go play for Team France, and she probably will, but she evidently is going to be playing this game. So I'm going to lean to the over because the Wings have no 3-point defense right now, and the Fire shoot a lot of 3-pointers. So I think that that's their strength, and the Wings can't guard it. So, I mean, everyone shoots 3-pointers. Megan DeLeo, Bridget Carlton, Carla Late, like even Emily Angsler, like all of them shoot 3s. So I think it's going to drive the score up, possibly not this high, but I'll lean over. I'm going to bet Portland plus 8.5 at Dallas, and because Dallas has only beaten them by 1-4, and now they're in the worst situation that they've had without AZ. So I think plus 8.5 makes sense to me, so I'm going to bet it. And then Dallas on the money line. All right, Mystics Mercury. They have played each other once this season. They're about to play each other twice in a row, and both times in Phoenix. And they played earlier in Washington. The game went to 170, and Washington won by 20 points. So we're getting a 167.5 line for this game. The trends are Washington is 2-4 ATS in their last 6, which is not great. They're 3-3 to the over in their last 6. And then Phoenix is 1-5 ATS in their last 6, which is terrible. And then they're 3-3 to the over in their last 6. Bonner got waived by the Mercury, if you guys haven't heard. So they were announcing it during the game today for the Dream game. And she basically wants to seek another team that is going to possibly play for a championship. So she's going to be a free agent. Someone's going to pick her up, and we'll see who it is. So she's not going to be playing in this game because of that. So over the 167.5, I think that's why we're getting the low line, is because Bonner's not out, or not going to be out there. But Kelsey Plum should be out there. And so I think that that more than makes up for Bonner not being out there, and Natasha Mack can pick up the slack. It's not like Tawana Bonner is like this elite player that was putting up 20 points per game for the Mercury. So I think Natasha Mack can pick up a little bit of that slack. And then Kelsey Plum is a way better player than her at this stage in her career. And so I think that the Mercury can still score here. So I'll lean to the over. Washington -2.5, and then Washington on the money line, because I do think Washington would like to win this game, just for seeding purposes, try and get as many wins as they can, and then and I don't think the Mercury care to win it, but they are playing at home. All right, the first bet. Now, first of all, before we get into the bets, do not forget that I am on a huge losing streak in the last 3 days. We've hit a couple things. We've hit a couple best bets, but overall it's been pretty bad, pretty ugly. And so just keep that in mind. I also was going to make all of these leans. I was straight up going to give you 4 leans. And then I just decided, you know what, let's just make them best bets. Let's just go all in. Why not? We've only got a couple games before the break anyways. And so that's what we're doing. So I'm kind of rolling the dice here. And you can do that with me if you want to, but just know that. All right, so Kiki Erifin over 24.5 PR. She's over in 48% of the last 21 games, but that does go up to 60% in away games. She head-to-head only had 21 in 24 minutes, and they won that game by 22 points. So she could have obviously played a little bit more and gone over this line. Shakira has been red hot, and so if you want to play Shakira, play her. But I don't trust her. I don't trust her to score 20 points per game like she has been doing, even though she has been doing it. And I just don't trust it. She could easily get in foul troubles. I mean, anything could go wrong, and she could not hit this line. Kiki is a little bit more secure, in my opinion, and so that's what I'm going to do. All right, Sonia Citron, this is kind of correlated, but I'm going to bet under her 3.5 quarter one points. We were doing this earlier in the season when she was just terrible in the first quarter, and we cashed it like 4 or 5 times. And so we're going back to it now because she's missed it 3 times in a row. She's over in 47% of the last 21 games, which is actually pretty good compared to how she was playing earlier in the season. But that does go down to 24% in the last 17 away games. So in away games, she doesn't take as many shots in the first quarter. She head-to-head had 0 in her one head-to-head, and that was a game where she played 8 minutes in the first quarter, and it was smack dab in the middle of this run where she was going over this line. So I'm not sure what all that was about, but if she's going to play practically the whole first quarter and not score any points, then I think this is a pretty good look. It's obviously risky, but I'm going to go in on it. Arike, another risky player, over 23.5 PRA. She's over in 47% of the last 21 games, but that goes up to 63% in games without AZ on the court. And she had 30 and 32 in the 2 head-to-heads this season. One of those games was without Paige, so obviously she played a little bit better. So just keep that in mind, I guess. But she had great head-to-heads against this team. They're a soft matchup, and so the fear is that anyone could go off and have a big day. So Paige could have a big day. Jessica could have a big day. Even Alana Smith or like Maddie Siegrist could come on and score like 18 points. Like, I would not put it past them. But I am going to go in on Arike, and I want the full PRA just in case she has like 7 or 8 like rebounds or like 7 or 8 assists. And I don't want to try and figure out which one it's going to be. So, yeah, I'll just take the full thing. All right, and then Dejanai over 7.5 points. She's over in 60% of games this season, and that goes up to 67% in away games. That's only a 3-game sample size. And she did have 9 head-to-head in her first game of the season in only 17 minutes played. And she should be on a minutes restriction, but she's been on a minutes restriction basically the whole season. So the only games where she played full minutes was this Storm game where she scored 26 points and this Valkyries game right after. So those are the only 2 games we could basically take off this screen, and that's 1 win and 1 loss. So the stats are basically the same. So I like it. I like her to play her normal 17 minutes, probably take 5, 6, 7 shots, maybe even more, and get over this line. So those are the bets, you guys. I have the one game bet as well. Keep in mind, like if you've skipped to this screen, a lot of people skip to this screen, that I'm on a huge losing streak in the WNBA right now. And I wanted to give all 4 of these as leans to you. And then I thought, what the hell? Let's just do best bets. So I'm basically free rolling here today for some reason. That's just how I feel. It's midnight already, and I still have to edit this and upload it. So it'll be like 2 in the morning by the time I get this done for you guys. So yeah, I'm just doing whatever I feel like right now. And so if you don't want to follow me on it, then I completely understand. Since I am back below 50%, you guys can fade me if you want to for the cash prize giveaway. But just pick 2 out of these bets that you think are going to hit. Or, of course, you can fade me since I'm under the 50%. Just let me know. Make sure it's clear what you're doing in the comments. And don't forget to give me that free like and the free subscribe. Give me a hype if you're on mobile. That really helps the channel a lot, even though I think it's the stupidest thing ever. But please just hit the button. It's totally free for you. And then let's go ahead and jump into Props Madness. I am going to speed through it a little bit because I am tired, like I said, and it's very late at night. So let's jump into that. All right, you guys. So the first game here is going to be the Sky at the Connecticut Sun, and this shot chart does not look good for Camila Cardoso. They rank 5th in the restricted area over the last 5 games, but Olivia Nelson-Ododa and Griner might not be playing. So if they have no size down low, they would have Aaliyah Edwards and then maybe Reagan Beers, and that's it. And so if they have no size down low, then Camila Cardoso probably will have a good game. So I'm going to have to lean over on the points, but I don't think there's any edge worth playing. And then on the rebounds, she's had 8, 14, and 6. We're getting a 9.5 line. She's been clearing it like 45% of the time, basically. So I just don't think there's any edge. I like to look for edges. There's no edge on Camila Cardoso, so I'm just completely skipping her. Sydney Taylor burned me, but I like literally want to just go straight back to her. But she might still be on a minutes restriction, and so because of that, I will avoid it. I will stay off of her. She did have 14 in the only game where she played full minutes. She had 31 minutes in that game, barely went over. And then in these 2 games, she played 22 minutes and 13 minutes, so I don't really take that into consideration. But I'm just going to stay away from her because of her minutes restriction. So not playing her at all. Natasha Cloud has been going off. So I think she's been basically taking the most shots on the team-ish. She only took 9 in the last one and 10 in the one before that, but 21 shots, 12, 8, 5, 9, 10. I think we can count on like 10, like 8 to 12. And so I like the over. I'm going to lean over. She had 13, 4, and 11 in the 3 head-to-heads. So not great hit rate, but I'm going to lean over on Natasha Cloud. The assists I don't really like because the Sun don't really give up a ton of assists necessarily. And if Natasha Cloud is going to be the main scoring person, like if nobody else can score, then she's not going to assist as much. So I'd rather just stay off it. I don't see a ginormous edge there. First quarter points are interesting at 2.5 because she's hit it in the last 5 games in a row. 2 misses and then 2 more hits. She has not hit it at all against this team. And she played 6, 6, and 8 minutes in the first quarter, so practically the whole first quarter. But I like this. I would lean over on the 2.5 first quarter points. Azure 9.5. I'm gonna have to lean over. She hit it both times head to head. If Ododa and Griner aren't there, this is gonna be a smash for Azure Stevens. But if they are there, I think she still can go over. So I'm gonna lean over, even though she's been super bad lately, and that's why I'm not taking it. Rebounds at 7.5. She had 10 and 3, so I don't think rebounds needs to be included. But I think it's the points. For sure the points on Azure, and then especially if Griner and Olivia Nelson-Ododa are out. All right, Courtney Vandersloot, I would say no on the points, but she's probably going to assist. So she had 6 assists head-to-head. She's been assisting quite a lot. She's over 92% at home, only 22% away. So that's interesting. It's juice, so you're going to have to put it in a parlay if you like it, but I kind of do like it. So I would lean over, and you'd have to put it in a parlay to eat that juice. Rebounds, I wouldn't want to play that on Sloot. So it's just assists or nothing. And then Dijonay we already talked about. So moving on to the Sun, we're only getting lines for 2 players right now. Sanaya Rivers, which she's getting a very high line. Layla Lacan's going to be out, and that's why. But she hasn't really been hitting it. And even in games without Lacan earlier in the season, she only went over 1 time. So it's not something I'm interested in betting on. Same with the assists, like she just isn't hitting it. And then the rebounds as well, like a little risky. So the full PRA is 18.5. I think we could probably fade it. Like she's missed it all 3 times against the Sky. She was almost there in one of the games. And she only played 23 minutes in that game, 13 minutes, and 21 minutes. I expect her to play the full game, like 25 minutes here at least, because Layla Lacan's out. But even with Layla Lacan off the court, she still only went over 1 time. So this could be an interesting fade, but the Sky are a good matchup for guards. Well, pretty much everyone actually. Like the Sky do allow a lot of points. I wouldn't say like they're good against shooting threes, but Sanaya Rivers isn't a 3-point shooter. She's more the type of guard that assists but drives to the hoop. Like she's not taking a ton of threes. She has in the past, but not a lot. Like she'll take them, but not like 7 attempts per game. Let's just look at it. Like so you don't have to just believe me. 3, 1, 0, 0, 2, 1, 2. So she's going to take like 3, maybe 4. And that's not a ton. Kennedy Burke, we are getting a line for her, and it looks good. But I wouldn't take it because all the forwards are actually healthy. So Aaliyah Edwards should be playing in this one. And then also Diamond Miller. So the 3 of them are all healthy. They're probably going to get a nice heavy rotation. So they're probably going to play 22 minutes each. And nobody's going to play more than that. And I would prefer Aaliyah Edwards because if Griner and Olivia Nelson-Adota are out, she is going to be the tallest player on the Sun. And so she's going to get some rebounds. She's going to get some points. And this team gives up points in the restricted area. The Sky does. And actually, it looks like they've been giving up points in above the break over the last 5 games. This used to be a strength for them above the break. But evidently, statistically, over the last 5 games, they've been giving up a lot of points there. I think part of that is the fact that they just played the Fever, and so they gave up a ton of threes in that game, and that probably skewed the statistics. But being at 11th out of 15, something else is going on. Like that defense must be slipping a little bit in that area. All right, the Fire and the Wings. So Carla Late's shot chart looks great above the break, bad in the restricted area. So we're looking for 3-point shooters, and that means a lot of assists probably. Carla also doesn't play as well in away games. So at home, she's over 63%. In away games, she's only over 39%. So I would lean under on the points. Probably over on the assists, even though she's also better at home on the assists. It's minus 158 anyways, so it's not a good price. So I just think you don't need to play it. And then rebounds, I definitely would lean to the under. Let's see. So 2.5 is the regular line. And I would probably lean under on this. Like, I think we played Carla Late under 2.5 rebounds like a month ago or something like that. And it did come through for us. It was like a weird play that we did. So maybe we'll do that again. Under Carla Late's 2.5 rebounds. Threes, I would lean over. I mean, it's a good number, 210. But she, I guess, hasn't really been taking a ton of threes. Like, only 3 attempts max in the last 4 games. So I guess I'm not taking it, but it's a good price. Okay, that's all I like for Carla Late is the rebounds on the under. Bridget Carlton, 15 points, 15 flat, it looks like, on Prize Picks, 15.5 everywhere else. She has a great shot chart above the break here, where the Wings rank dead last right now over the last 5 games. Head-to-head, she had 20 and 18, and that was on 6 for 10 on the 3-pointers. And 2 for 9 on the 3-pointers. She took 16 regular shots. So she should get at least 2 threes, maybe 3. And I like that on the points. So I lean over on the points. I lean over on the assists. Probably not the rebounds because she's burned me on the rebounds, but I think you probably could lean over. So the PA is 17.5, and that's a good number. And then the PRA is 22.5, and that's not a good number. So I think the PA is the best line. Over 17.5 PA. She's gone over both times. She's not as good on the road, though. She's only hit 28% on the road. So far, that's what I like the best. Actually, I also like the Carly under rebounds, but that's what I like the best for an over. And then Megan DeLeo over 14 points. She has a good shot chart, and she plays a little bit better on the road, better than some of the other Fire players. I mean, still bad, but head to head, she had 16 and 21 points. At home, she's over 37% of the time, away 44% of the time. So she plays a little bit better in away games. If you drop this down to 12.5, the hit rate becomes 75% in away games. So maybe an alt line for Megan DeLeo here. And then rebounds, I probably would lean over, but I'm not going to play it. I think the points is the best play. And I like 12.5 points as an alt. And the price on that, I'm not seeing a price for that. But 14.5, it's kind of 50-50. I mean, you can get it at 13.5 on DraftKings. So the DFS ops are at 13.5 juiced up, and then 14 flat on Prize Picks. But you can get a regular price on DraftKings right now for 13.5 minus 119, and so I would do that. All right, that's all I like for her, and that's all I like for the Fire, because I don't want anything on Emily Angsler. Paige, head to head, she had 21 points exactly. At home, she's only over 42% of the time. Without AZ, she's only over 50% of the time, and only 40% at home without AZ. So I don't think this is necessarily a smash spot for Paige, but it is a soft matchup. So I'm going to lean over. I'm going to lean over on the assist as well, even though it's a high number and she hasn't been hitting it. With AZ out, only 38%, so that's not really helping either. And then the rebounds, I probably just wouldn't touch the rebounds. So the assists are juiced under, so we are going to get a good combo line. If you want points and assists, I don't know. I would just choose, and it probably has to be points. I'm not going to play anything on Paige because I'm on Arike, as you guys know. So Arike, I'll show you the shot charts, but basically without AZ, she's been the most consistent player, which is not saying much because she's still not been consistent. The assists and the rebounds are like super like hit and miss. Like when she assists, she doesn't rebound, and when she rebounds, she doesn't assist. But it's impossible to tell which one she's going to do. So that's why I just took the full PRA. All right, Jess Shepard, her points line has moved up to 15. She's had 13 and 18 in the two head-to-heads. And honestly, it's not a good number for her. She doesn't have good hit rates. I might be more interested in the assists, even though she hasn't hit it in the last 5 games. She had 10 assists against this team the last time they played, and then only 2 in the game with no Paige. So I'm kind of interested in the assists, but it's a really high number for something she hasn't done in the last 5 games and hasn't done without AZ. And then I want to also show you her points without AZ. This is why we faded her. I mean, it wasn't crazy. We faded her because she has never gone over without AZ, except, of course, the time that we took her. Same with assists, same with the rebounds. So the PRA, she's only been over 1 time, and that was the 1 time that we took her under. So I'd be tempted to do that again here, is take the under, but the Fire are a bad team, so I'm not doing it. So I can't take the overs because I like the under. And then Alana Smith, I do like the over. She's been getting there, but it's been on efficiency. 3 for 3 in this game with 3 free throws. And then 0 shots taken in this game in 10 minutes. 6 for 9. 4 for 11, that one was not good efficiency. And then 5 for 7, 5 for 13, that wasn't good efficiency either. 2 for 6, but 5 for 6 on the free throws. So she gets lucky. You know what I mean? But I have to lean to the over. Yeah, that's it. And then in the Mystics and Mercury game, so here's Shakira's chart. She has been great. Head to head, she had 19. So there's no reason not to take her. She has a great shot chart in the restricted area. I just don't trust her at this high of a number. And so I will take Kiki instead. I like her turnovers, actually. Let's just look at her rebounds, though, because 9.5 is a pretty good number. Head to head, she had 11. In away games, she doesn't rebound as well, but she's been rebounding really good lately, even in away games. So, and look what you can do here. You can take this down to 7.5, get an 86% hit rate in the last 21 games. So that's probably what I would do on Shakira. And then take the regular line on Kiki. She hasn't been hitting her first quarter points, but her turnovers. So she's been a turnover machine because she's been on the court with the ball in her hands pretty much the whole game. So I think we'll get a 2.5 turnovers line, and I'd be tempted to play the over, but she did have 0 in that head to head that they played earlier. And the Mercury aren't really known for stealing the ball. I mean, Copper can steal the ball, and Alyssa Thomas can steal the ball, but and maybe Plum, but there's not really like an elite steals and blocks person on the Mystic or on the Mercury like you would think of for like Gabby Williams, or at least she used to be. Jordan Canada, Ryan Howard, like those are elite steals and blocks people, and you don't really think of the Mercury as doing that. All right, Sony Citron, she has a good shot chart in the restricted area, but also above the break. Head to head, she had 19, but she just didn't hit it for me last time. She burned me, so I'll just play the under on the first quarter points. Her assists look good over 4.5, but it's juiced, so you're gonna have to put in a parlay if you want to do that. But I like it. I mean, she's hit it in the last 5 games. She had 6 in the head to head, and this is a good assist matchup. So they rank 11th in giving up the assists. So they are bottom 5. And so, yeah, I like the assists on Sonia under on the first quarter points. Kiki, we already talked about. And then Michaela Onyenwere, she has a good shot chart. Head to head, she also had a good game with 13. And then assists and rebounds, not so much. So I guess you could fade the 4.5 RA line. Seems like pretty low to be fading, but I don't know. Maybe I guess you could do that. I don't think we need to do that. All right, Georgia Amore has had 3 awesome games in a row on the points and the rebounds. So if we just want to take a PRA for her, I think we're going to get it at like 14.5. Let's see. Let's put it there. Yeah, 14.5 I think is what we'll get. She only had 7 in the previous head-to-head. She only played 21 minutes. And she's super inconsistent, like boom bust. But she has done it in 3 straight games. So if you want to ride that train, go ahead and do that. I'm not doing that. Copper's probably going to take the most shots on the team. Don't know if she'll make them. So I like going in on her free field goals attempted. So they'll probably give it it's going to be a high number. It's going to be like 15.5, 16.5 even, like a high number. And I would still go over that. In their previous head-to-head, she only took 13, but she's been taking 21, 14, 16, 13, 15. I guess Plum is coming back, so let's put games with Plum. 13, 15, 16, and 19. So yeah, I mean, she's still going to be a high usage player, even with Plum on the court. I do not trust her to make her shots against this Mystics team because she did only shoot 31% last time. Rebounds and assists, I don't think I need to play that, even with Bonner off the court. Let's check without Bonner. I don't think she's played any games without Bonner this game. Yeah, she hasn't, so there's no sample size. All right, Kelsey Plum, 14.5 points. I kind of lean over. I think she's going to be on a minutes restriction if she plays, and she'll probably only play like 15 to 20 minutes at the most. And she can be a points per minute scorer, but she only shot 29% and 20% from 3 the last time she came across this Mystics team. So she has a great shot chart. It looks really good, but she did just play this team. That is the game where she got injured, and left. But she wasn't shooting well before the injury. So I would be wary of Kelsey Plum. I'm not going to take anything for her. Alyssa Thomas, 13.5 points. Her shot chart is super ugly, but I don't really care because she's going to get free throws. So I lean over on the points. Head to head, she had 10 in 31 minutes played, and they lost by 20. She only shot 33% and had 0 free throw attempts. So I think she will get her free throw attempts and go over this line. The assists, I'm not going to touch the assists because I don't trust anyone to make their shots. The rebounds, I guess I would lean over because she already had 10 in the previous head-to-head. Now Bonner's not playing, so there should be even more rebounding opportunities. So I lean over on the 8.5 rebounds. It's plus money, barely, plus 105. So if you want to go out and get that, that's not good enough to be a bonus bet, but I think it's pretty good. Or you could play the 7.5 in a parlay. I like that too. A lot, actually. Plus 1,000 for Alyssa Thomas to make one three-pointer. I don't think I've ever seen her take a three-pointer. She had one this entire season. So that's a little crazy. I guess you could try a triple-double for plus 800, but I don't think we need to do that. Okay, that's it for Alyssa Thomas. Natasha Mack, kind of expect her to play more minutes with Bonner out. Like, I think she's going to have to, because she's only been playing like 19 to 20 minutes, or like 14 to 20 minutes or so. I think she's going to have to play 20 minutes or so, 20 to 25. Probably not 25, but 20 to 25. And so this line is kind of low, but she has a bad shot chart. And I don't think we can fade it just because I expect that minutes bump. 16.5 is a really high number, but the books are obviously expecting that minutes bump as well. So I think she's going to play 20 to 25 minutes. 16.5 PRA is not that high if she plays that many minutes. Let's put on our minutes filter. And let's go minimum like 18 minutes. And so it's showing us games from earlier in the season. And she was going over in those games pretty well. Like, I'd say about 65, 70%. And then lately, like, she just has not been. So I guess you could fade this if you want to, you guys. 18.5 or 16.5 PRA. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll throw it in for fun. Okay. Don't want anyone else from the bench. And then that's it. That's all we have for you guys. So I will get this edited, get it uploaded, get it out to you. Don't forget, this is my third or fourth time saying this, that I'm on an incredible losing streak in the WNBA. So if you want to fade me, fade me. But I want you to make money. I want me to make money. And I'm not making money right now. But we're going to try and turn that around every single day until I go on vacation. And then I'll miss a couple days, but then I'll be back and we'll get back to it. All right, thanks, guys.